Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel. Glad you can join us here at YouTube, and we have another mighty fine magic trick for you today. This one is all about premonition. You know, a lot of people love premonition effects. I know I do. I love to see into the future, and so do other people. They like that type of effect. So this is what this trick is all about, a card trick that involves me reading something in the future. And we have that here in the envelope, which I'm going to leave in full view throughout this whole performance. But I tell you something, there's one card and one card only in here, and you can examine it at the end, but there's one premonition playing card in here. So I'm going to leave that so you can all see that throughout the routine. That stays there. Now, with the cards, they've been shuffled mixed. They are just a regular 52 pack of playing cards. You see, I want you to have a good imagination. I want you to imagine that you're in a casino and you're sitting at the card table. Now, I want you to tell me how many people are sitting at the card table. Give me a number between 1 and 5. 3. 3 people are sitting at the table. Now, how many cards are each of the 3 players holding? Now, give me a number between, I don't know, 5 and 10. 7. 7 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Are you happy with that number of cards they're holding? Now, we don't need the other cards, we've finished with these, but these are the 3 hands of cards in play. We have player 1, player 2, player 3. Now, what I want from you is to touch any one of the 3 player hands. Which one do you want? This one. Now, this is important. Do you want to keep player 1 in the game, or do you want to eliminate player 1? It's entirely up to you. You want to eliminate player 1, so you don't want this packet here. We'll get rid of that, leaving us with 2 packets left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 8 cards. So in total, we've got 16 cards in play. Now, what we're going to do is to get you to choose one of these top cards. But of course, we don't want to take the one that's on there at the moment, because I want these to be shuffled up, but in a totally randomized way. Do you remember the 2 numbers you gave me? What was it? A 3 and a 7. So if you add those together, what does that give us? 10. 10 is the random number. I couldn't have known that. There could have been more players, less players. There could have been more or less cards. But 10 is the number. We've got 16 cards. So if we take away 10 from 16, that gives us a number of 6. We're going to use that number to mix the cards up. And the way this is going to play out is that I'm going to pick up any packet that you want me to, and I'll count cards from the top to the bottom, but at any time you can tell me to switch to the other packet and mix that up. Which packet do you want me to start with? This one here. Okay, so 1, 2, switch. 3, 4, switch. 5, switch again, and 6. We've now shuffled the cards up. I want you to choose which one you want. This one here, are you sure? You don't want to change your mind for this one over here. Your choice. Now, just recap on what's happened. We shuffled the cards, we cut them, we dealt them, all advised by you. Okay, you could have ended up with any of the cards in the pack. You've arrived at one card fairly here. Do you remember I said I had a prediction card in here? Let's take a look at the card that you arrived at. The 9 of spades. If we open my prediction, there is one card on one card only in here, and it is the exact same card, the 9 of spades. And for the magicians among you, it really is just a single card on there. And that is Kiss. So here is the secret and the tutorial to how this effect works. Now, some of you are probably wondering, so where does the kissing come in to the title of the trick? Well, the reason I called this Kiss is because that will stand for Keep It Simple, Stupid. Some of you are probably familiar with that terminology. Some magicians always look at how we can fool the audience by making it a really complex trick. This trick is as simple as it comes, and you're going to kick yourself once you see the secret. The pack, we got 52 cards and one prediction. Now the prediction card is genuine. I know some of you probably thought at the end where I gave you a choice of 2 cards, and you probably thought this was a double-faced card. Okay, it's not, it's just a regular card. Now, this is unfaked. It's just a normal envelope. You can have this in your wallet, in your pocket. You can even scribble it on a piece of paper. But that goes in here like this. The 9 of spades is my prediction. You can make it any card. But why have I gone for the 9 of spades? Well, there's a simple reason for that, because my cards are all the 9 of spades. And it's at this point you're probably thinking, why didn't I spot that? Okay, in fact, there's not 52 of them here, because I've got about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 cards here. In fact, you can add a few more as well if you want to. You just need a small stack of regular cards. Okay, that's what I've got there. So these packs are known as forcing decks, and I'm sure you're all into magic watching this video. I don't think you would have hung around this long if you're not. You may own a pack of these, but as you know, you can pick up these 52 alike decks from most magic dealers. But here they are, 52 cards. As I said, there's not 52. So I took 11 cards from a regular deck, and then I removed 11 of these and got rid of them. So I'm left with a total of 52 cards. So how do I stack the cards? Well, first of all, we take the regular cards. I put 1, 2, 3, 4 regular on the bottom, and the rest of them go on top. Now, why have I done that? Well, because I'm going to do a false shuffle. Okay. If you don't want to do the shuffle, you just want to remove these from a box, then you could just have all of the regular cards on the bottom, okay, and the 4 on the top. So just reverse them. So that's what I'm going to do on my shuffle. Because I wanted to do a shuffle while explaining that we're going to do a prediction effect, I'm going to slide off those 8 or 9 cards singly. That puts all of those to the bottom. I then do a sloppy shuffle because they're all the 9 of spades. And then when I get near the end, remember those 4 cards at the end, I then want to shuffle those off to make sure that they arrive at the top. What I'm starting with now after the shuffle is the reverse of what I started with. Do you get that? So I've got 4 normal cards, all the 9 of spades, and then the bulk of the other regular cards at the bottom. That's how I start. Why do I do that? Well, because this is a convincer. I casually pick up. Now, don't make a point of, look, I've got regular cards, look. Don't make a big deal of it. You've shuffled them, they've seen that, everything's handled freely. And I just spread a few cards while I'm talking. Now we're going to get you to choose a card from this pack here. And I just spread a few cards. As long as I don't reveal these, just a few cards, casually square them up. So just drop them down in a messy way. You're going to say to them, we're going to get you to choose a card in an unusual way. I'm going to get you to imagine you're at a casino. Now this is the thing, you want some hands of cards. Now you are going to have a bit of control here. Now on the performance I said 1 to 5, which is fine, but you really want them to end up with 3 or 4 packets. That's what you're aiming for, 3 or 4. If they give you a number 3 or 4, then that's fine, deal them out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What if they give you 5? Well, then I play it like this. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one will be the dealer. Okay, and I just put that here. That's fine, you're done, all of that. So you then go into the rest of the routine. Watch it back and you'll see what I mean. If they ask for 4, that's fine, you just deal out 4 hands of cards. If they ask for 3, then you deal out 3. And if they ask for 2, then do 1, 2, oh, and don't forget the dealer. We've got 3 hands of cards. That's the way that I do this. By the way, remember we've got the 4 normal cards on top. So these cards are all regular. Now I know some of you will probably say, is it not a good idea as a convincer to deal the cards face up and say, oh, I tell you what, let's put them face down. Yes, you can do that if you want. What if they choose 1? Well, then you just make a bit of a gag and say, well, a card game of 1 person isn't going to be much use. Okay, so they're going to say 2 or 3. So remember, you really want 3 or 4. I hope that makes sense. So let's say they said 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 cards. You then say to them how many cards, imagine how many cards they're all playing with in their hand. And I say to them, give me a number between 5 and 10. Now, they can give you any number. If they say 10, well, say to them, well, make it between 5 and 10. So they don't choose the 5 or the 10. They can choose 5. In fact, that's not so bad because it's less for you to deal out. 10 is too many. So you want 9, 8, 7, 6, or even 5. Let's say they said 6 cards. You're now going to deal that number on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, each player's got 6 cards. What I do at this point, because we don't need the rest of the cards, I turn them over. Remember, we've got those regular cards, and I say, look, we don't need these cards here. And I put these to one side face down. Now we come to these cards here, and you say to them, we got 4 players, player 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I need to be left with 2 packets. No matter how many packets you got, I need to be left with 2 packets on the table. Okay, so in this case, I say to them, give me 2 player numbers, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now if they said 1 and 2, you say, now this is a choice. Do you want to keep those 2 players in the game or get rid of them? And this is an absolute free choice. They can have any of these. But the beauty of having those 4 regular cards that we stacked on top is because when they do say no, keep these, get rid of these. So you don't want these hands. And I just turn them over to flash the bottom card and get rid of these. Okay, just square them up. Don't make a point of saying, look, it's a regular card. Just square them up, put them down there. Another convincer that the pack is regular. Now we have these 2 packets. Remember, everything we're doing is just fake. So this number thing that I introduced is just to throw people off, because people will believe it's some sort of mathematical trick. And I'm sure some of you guys watching this probably thought, this is a mathematical trick that he's adding these numbers and taking it away and things like that. And that's the whole idea behind it. Of course, the situation is that they can have any of these cards but the bottom cards because they're just regular. In the performance, I deliberately pick up one of these. I say, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards. That gives us 14 cards. I then say to them, what were the 2 numbers that you gave me earlier? Because we'll deduct that from 14. Now, they will say, well, I picked 4 and 6, so that's 10. You deduct that from that number. Okay, so that'll give us 4. And you then say, we're going to shuffle these up. On this one or this one, you say, I'm going to count to 4. You can switch. So I shuffle up both packs. There's 1, there's 2. Now they're never going to reach the bottom card that was there. We then do 1, and then he switches back on here. The bottom line is they're both the same. Once you've done this, they get to choose one of these. You gather the cards up and just get rid of them. You approach these and the trick is done. Okay, and that's it. What I would suggest to you is on this trick, that numbers thing, you don't even have to do that. You could do it to say, give me your age or your last 2 digits of your phone number, and then use those to shuffle the cards up. At the end of the day, because you're dealing with basically a whole packet of identical cards, it's very easy to force these onto people. Now, I think that's all you need to do. You can put these away when you get them to take the card and turn it over. You can just put these away. You've finished with these. I know some of you might want to go on and do another trick. So you could have a spare deck in your pocket that doesn't have the 9 of spades in. You can just put these in your pocket. They've looked at that. You've revealed this. You then say, do you want to see another trick? You pull out the other deck. You've done a deck switch. Shuffle them up, add this back in there, you're good to go. That's it. And that's why we called it KISS, because sometimes keeping tricks simple is the best policy. They are the most effective ones on the audience. Anyway, I hope you have fun with that, showing your friends, family,